It was good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Busy week for me
really
this week. But I got all my stuff done. I got everything done that I needed to get done
good.
in
Good.
preparation. So we'll see. We got our international fair tomorrow. I was telling you about that.
hmm
They got all that stuff together. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, hey everybody, welcome back. This is Dwayne,
This is Danita. Hi, everyone.
and this is Into the Woods. Welcome, welcome. We are so glad that you are here. And I think you might be hearing an echo. Let me get rid of that echo. There we go.
Yeah.
So glad that you're
Frozen.
here into the woods. And we are here because where our name is the Woods. And we hope that you will be able to identify with some of the stuff we talk about and that we can come out of the woods together. So that's the goal. So we're in the woods, we're into the woods, but we're going to spend some time talking and hopefully get out of the woods as we identify some things about us. And hopefully you can see some of yourself in us, or some of the things that we talk about will resonate with you. If you're not already done so, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Let us know if you're here, if you're watching us right now. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you're here in the comments. Say, hey, I'm here. And tonight, we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic. But Danita, what's been going on with you? What's happening in your world these days?
At work, and more work. That's
Work,
pretty
work, and
much
more
it.
work.
Nothing, nothing really exciting happening.
Oh, but we're plodding away. We're already, what's today? The 17th of February. Wow,
Yes, yes, yes.
6 weeks into
We,
the month,
it,
into the new year.
yeah, we're almost the third month in. Yeah,
Mm,
it's
mm,
crazy.
wow.
It's going very quickly.
Very, very quickly. So if you're out there, you got some stuff you want to do for this year, you got to get on it. Get on it, right? So
Yeah.
the first quarter, the end, we're going to be the third month of the first quarter. So if you got some plans, you got some ideas, you got some new things that you want to do for this year, you want to
Get on
start
it.
something, yeah, get on it. That's the word, right? Get on it. But
Yeah.
Danita, we as we go through the year, and today we're going to be talking about emotions. We're going to be talking about emotions,
hmm
and I know for me that emotions can be a powerful motivator, and it
hmm
can actually be a powerful demotivator, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're not careful. I tell the story a lot when I was in medical school and when I was doing residency. That period of my life was probably
hmm
one of the most challenging times, right? Those years,
hmm
resident, medical school, getting into and out of medical school, and then in residency.
hmm
And there were so many emotions that were going on. There was and it ran the gamut, right? From fear to
hmm
excitement to sadness to frustration to anger. And sometimes it was difficult to get things done because I was caught up in the emotion.
hmm
And so we're going to spend some time today talking about emotions and how do we get through emotions and so forth. But what has been your experience with emotions?
My emotions are the same as you. Going through different aspects of my life. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. Frustrated, angry. Last
Mhm.
week we did imposter syndrome, so that's an emotion. So I mean, it runs the gambit, just like you said. So those are
Right.
my
Yeah.
experiences with them. How do you deal with them? That's what we're gonna figure out.
We're gonna talk
I'm
about it,
not
right,
good at
right.
dealing with them.
But hey, but listen, right? So an emotion, right, caused you to start doing your journals,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that was a place where it may not have been a
Positive
positive emotion,
feeling. Mm-hmm.
but it motivated you to do something.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah, you if you look at it, if you take the time to look at it in a different perspective, what am I learning from this emotion? What can I do? How can it help me? So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's just jump over there and let's see. So this is where we're going, everybody. Right. So we're going to talk about, and it's not an exhaustive list, right? So these are things that we talk about and we'll talk more about them as we go through the show. But I they're in order, but I'm gonna probably jump around a little bit because the first one that I want to talk about is actually not the first one that you see there. It's actually the second one in the gray, and it's okay to be sad, angry, and scared. So is it okay to have an emotion?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, so it's okay to have an emotion. And the reason I wanted to start with that one is that often we think that there's something wrong with us because we have an emotion. I mean, we'll say things like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sad, or I don't know what's wrong with me because I'm mad, or he made me mad, or whatever. Almost like we're supposed to be robots.
Well, that's because people make us feel we shouldn't have that feeling. You shouldn't feel that way, or get over it. Just, keep moving on. People make you feel like you shouldn't feel those things. So we come to the conclusion like something's wrong with us, but nothing's wrong with you. God gave you emotions to feel.
To feel them, right?
Right. So nobody should tell you shouldn't feel it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I love that you say that, because sometimes, and I'm speaking now from the person who's opposite the person that's having the emotion, right? So, for instance, if you're having an emotion, and I'm the person that's opposite you, it's sometimes you're right. We'll say, well, I don't know why you feel like that. Like, you don't have a right.
Almost like you can't process it. Like you can't understand the emotion I'm having.
Right.
You know what I mean? So maybe I might feel sad and you're uncomfortable with anybody feeling sad. So we're like, oh, get over it.
Right.
So that's probably what it is. Not that you shouldn't feel, but the other person feels uncomfortable in that emotion you're experiencing.
And really that interaction is about that other person. Right. So if I'm feeling the emotion and you're uncomfortable and you're like, well, I don't know why you feel that. It has nothing to do with me. It's all about your discomfort or your inability to process where I am, or even sometimes feeling guilty that you caused the emotion.
Yes. Sometimes yes.
And you're like, just get over it because I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to be feeling guilty. So you just need to just move on.
That's so wrong.
It is. Well, it is wrong. It is wrong. But I'm just saying. I'm being honest. I know. So it is okay to feel emotions. Now and I don't have a list of all the emotions that people can feel, and sometimes we get we get bogged down ourselves because we can't explain the emotion that we're feeling to people, right? Like we feel something, like something's going on, and I'm feeling a way, like, but it's like, well, what are you feeling?
Words for it.
Like, I don't know, but. I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm mad. It's all of them together.
Don't take you. And that's what they say sometimes. Like, my spirit's not taking you right now.
Yeah. So there's all that's going on, right? So first of all, for everybody, if you're watching, know that it is okay to feel the emotion. Okay, it's okay to feel the emotion, and no one can really tell you how to feel.
Right.
Okay. Right. Now you're responding to whatever is going on in the situation, in the environment, And there are times when, like I just said, you may not even have words to express. Like you can't really define what the emotion is, but you know that there's something there.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's okay. That's okay. And so the process is going to be, okay, how do we put words to those emotions? Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. So let's hop back over here. So now let's talk about not bottling it up. Okay. So if you are feeling the emotion and now you know, okay, I have I don't want to say right, but I'm okay. Allowed. It's okay to feel the emotion. Don't bottle it up. And that goes hand in hand, I think, with it's okay to feel the emotion, because sometimes we do feel the emotion and we say, okay, it's okay for me to feel it, but I'm just going to keep it in.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
I think, you keep it because you don't know what to do with it. So what do you now that you have acknowledged that you feel it and it's okay to feel it, now what do you do with it? How do you express it? How do you release that? And I think that's where you bottle it up because you don't know what to do with it.
Okay, so you may not know what to do with it, and you say, okay, it's good, or I'm allowed to do it, and now I have the emotion. Okay, what do I do with it?
Yeah, where do I put it? How do I express it?
Right. Now, so this is a good place to have a conversation. I want to divert a little bit. It's part of the whole thing, but
yeah,
where do we learn to deal with emotions?
I think from our families. I mean, that's the first place you interact with people, right? And so you kind of learn from them, and then as you get older and you have your own set of people that you mingle with, you learn from them. But I think the first place is in the home. It's your family.
Okay. And here we got a guest. So Cap Law, hey, thanks for stopping through. Let me get this down here. And Cap Law says, can not having the words lead to being depressed? So that's a good question, Denita. So if you have the emotion, but you don't know how to express it, can that lead to depression?
It can, because now you just have all these feelings and thoughts in your head, and they're just there, and you just, it just marinates there. So you can get depressed.
So let's give Cap Law a hand clap and some music. Welcome to the show, yo. So thank you for coming through. Really appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, so if you don't have the words to express what's going on, then yes, you can be depressed. You know, one of the big things that happens is we want to know that people connect and understand us, right? That we're built for that kind of community. And so if you're having frustration in expressing what you feel, and I know for me in some of my relationships, that is the case, right? So, or that has been the case, that I just, that person just wasn't getting me. And so there's frustration there, and they're like, well, I guess this is I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to keep it bottled up. And of course, that can lead to depression. So good question there. Thank you for that. All right. So walking through now. So we know that it's okay for us to feel it. We know that we're not going to bottle it up on the inside. And we say, okay, some our processing of emotions comes from our family of origin. And I'm going to say, I don't know, and I'm thinking back to us growing up, there was not a place where we were taught how to deal with emotions. We just kind of caught whatever was in the air. You know what I mean? So we caught the process of managing emotions by just what we saw. But
there really was no management. It was like we said in the beginning, just get on with it. Like, okay, that happened. All right, now what you gonna do? Just kind of just get on with it.
Just get on with it, right? Yeah. And I know, recently, we were talking about my son, Blake, and I was, commenting that he needs to see us work through problems. He needs to see that we need to actively do it, because sometimes, and as parents, we try not to let our kids see certain things. And so we think we're sheltering them, or they don't see us have an argument, or they don't see us angry, but then they don't know how to deal with it when it shows up.
Right.
And so
they never saw you after it.
Right. So they never saw it. So it would make sense to say, okay, yes, I'm angry right now, and just have them watch us work through to get to the end, to the other side of the anger. Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right. All right. So, and then, all right. So what are some ways that we can deal with the emotions, right? Because we said that we don't know how to deal with the emotions. So we have them, and just like Cap Law said, if you don't have the words, then that could lead to depression. So here's some simple things that we can do. And let's start with the big one, because it's a big one for you, Denita. Let's do journaling. So journaling, what does journaling do for us when it comes to dealing with emotions?
Well, journaling gets it out of your head, right? It gets it out of your head onto some paper, and you can kind of look at it and work through it, right? So that's what journaling does.
Okay. And with your journals, so you have the fear journal, you have, and give us those names again that you have. I think there are 5 so far. So
there's fear, there's habits, there is fears, habits, time. Oh my God, there's so many. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. But they're out there. Yeah.
They are out there. They're out there.
And we talked last week, actually, was it last week? I think on one of our episodes about a success journal, where we are gathering the positive things that we've done in our lives, so that our cheerleader, right, that inner cheerleader can have some ammunition against the doubt that we may have, or this negative self-talk that we have. So all of those things. So as we're feeling the emotions, you're right, getting those out on paper is can be awesome, because sometimes I'm in my head, and have you ever been and you're feeling something and you're not telling anybody about it, and it's just going around and around, and you start at the same point and you keep going through the whole process again,
and every time you go around it gets worse and it gets worse. Something new jumps in and it just spirals down.
And it's going down and down and down, and you get madder and madder, or sadder or sad, whatever the emotion is, right? Because you're in your head, and it's just like an echo chamber, and it's just bouncing off and amplifying around your head. So getting out on paper in a journal, and there are lots of different ways to journal. Denita has her journal, so those are good places that you can go to begin that process. All right, so journaling, and then going straight across, express yourself through art, music, and writing. Now, this one I'm going to jump in, because I love music, and sometimes you can tell what mood I'm in, because you can hear the music that I'm listening to.
Yes.
He's like, oh, we need to get him out that room, because the music he's listening to right now is not it's not the music that he needs to be.
You understand? I'm going to add to that dancing, because dancing it's my way of expressing myself. So I'm going to add dancing to that, to just get the body moving. Can actually change the way you feel. So I'm going to dance.
Yeah, because there's a certain thought process, and there's when we talk about recovery, when some people who are recovering from addictions, right? One of the things that they say is move the body, change the mind.
Yes, it's true.
So if you find yourself in a position and you change your position, instead of you're sitting down and you're feeling sad, stand up. Right, and that act of standing up right? Move a body, change a mind. It may change the thought process that you may have. And I guess this one goes directly to the next one that's there listed. So get moving. So exercise can help improve your mood, right? That same idea that we're moving physically, and physically when we move, we change the thought process.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Right.
So
that's a great way to begin doing that. We talk about exercise in terms of our physical health and so forth, diabetes and cholesterol and weight and so forth. But here's an instance where we can use that same process to work on our mental health. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. So dancing. What kind of dancing, Denita?
Any kind of dancing.
Yeah, but what's your dance?
My dance is salsa, ballroom, soca,
Oh, come on now, come on.
all that.
I have wanted to take some dancing lessons, and I think I've said that before. And we have a student who actually is rotating through our office, and she was the president of the ballroom dancing club at her school. And so she's like, yeah, you should do it. You should do it. So we'll see.
Yeah, you said it's nice.
And then spend time with family, friends who make you feel good. Yes. What do you think about that? Is there any benefit to hanging around with people who make you feel good?
Yeah, you get to laugh. You get to forget about what you're feeling. You focus on them. And spend time with them, enjoying yourself. So yeah.
And this is weird, right? Because sometimes when we get into some certain emotions, depression, when we are feeling lonely, when we're feeling inadequate, when we're feeling frustrated, a lot of times we actually pull away from people.
True. Because those are isolating, right? Isolating feelings. So you really don't want to be around people with that. Those feelings kind of make you just want to, pull in, like be small, right? We talk about that all the time.
Right.
That's what that does. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know when, I went through a period of my life where I was depressed, and I actually pulled away from everybody. I mean, family, friends, and so forth. And here's. So I was actually upset. I was actually mad at my family and friends.
Why?
Because I thought if they really loved me, they would come find me.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I could see.
You know what I mean? So it was like, okay, so it was kind of like, so it's funny because we do this in lots of different relationships, right? It's kind of like that husband-wife, right? And something's going on and the husband's pulling away, and he's like, well, if she really loved me, she would, come, she would chase after me, or she says that he would chase after me. So in my depression, as I pulled away from people, it felt even more lonely because nobody said, hey man, we haven't heard from you in a while. Hey, what's going on? Right? So sometimes we have that idea, and as I'm talking, I'm encouraging people that people are not mind readers, and so you've got to kind of step out a little bit and pull them into your circle, right? And that's the idea here with behind Into the Woods, right?
Yeah.
That we are in the woods, right? We're in the bushes. We're in the bushes of our lives, and we're talking so that we can identify with each other and so that we can come out of the woods together.
Right. Yep.
Oh, awesome. All right. And then help somebody else. Talk a little bit about that one. How does that work?
They always say that, and you help someone else because now you're not focusing on yourself. You're looking to help someone else go through whatever issue they may be having, or you're just trying to help somebody else. So you don't have time to sit there and look at yourself and say, woe is me.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So basically diverting your attention to something else.
Yeah.
And it's so true, because sometimes we'll see other people, and not that it minimizes what we're going through, but we see other people, and sometimes they're in such more tight spaces than we're in. It was like, man, wow, how would I survive that, right? One of my favorite books is The Life You've Always Wanted. And if you're out there, I have no affiliation with the author or anything, but if you've not read the book, I mean, it's an amazing book. And so he tells the story of, a friend of his was I think a psychologist, and they were going into one of their rotations. They go to the hospital and they're dealing with patients and so forth. And so this guy goes, and he, this wing of the hospital, where I guess these were where the most difficult patients were. So I think it was a cancer ward. And so he goes down, and I guess the lady had been in an assisted living facility, it sounded like. And so in a assisted living facility, they're there and they're able to do things, but it's almost like a semi-nursing home.
Okay.
And so he's, I don't want to be here, that kind of thing. And so he goes down and he sees this lady, and he says when he sees her, he almost recoils, because she had cancer, and the cancer had eaten away at her face, and the bones and the teeth were showing, and she was drooling because the cancer had eaten away the flesh.
Yeah.
And so he's there, and he's trying to console her, because nobody had come, and she was like, "Hey, what's going on? Hey," so she was just so positive that she's now encouraging him, and he's like, "Well, how do you do that? How are you in that situation, and you're still that positive?" And so sometimes when we run into people and we find out their story, and we just see how positive they can be, it just ministers to us as well.
Yeah.
So the life you've always wanted. Right? And then I shouldn't say if you may need professional help.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with getting professional help.
No.
I've had counseling for a long time. I mean, and I've been talking to counselors, right? And it is a place for help. It's a place for healing. It's a place to help you process, because even though the people around you love you, and we talked about hanging out with them, there are some things that professional people can do, and professional people can lead you through, and processes and procedures and exercises that the average person doesn't really know. And so that's a benefit of having professional help. Yeah,
I agree. I've had professional help as well. It's very helpful, to have someone provide the tools that you just mentioned, to help you work through your emotions.
Yeah. And it's funny that sometimes I will see people, and even in our office, we'll have people who come because they need help with their blood pressure, they need help with their thyroid and diabetes and all these different things, and they're going through difficult situations, and I will recommend that they see a therapist. And they're like, "Oh, no, I don't do that." They almost think that there's something wrong, right? Like there's some moral failing if they see a therapist. But they'll take a diabetes pill in a minute, but refer them to a therapist, and they're like, yeah, I don't really need that.
Yeah, we have therapy for all parts of our bodies, and we think that's okay. But when you say therapy for your mind, it's like, oh no, we don't need that. It functions just fine the way it is.
Right.
And that's not true.
Yeah. And you're not weak. You're not. You don't have a moral failing just because you need therapy. So I want to say that to people who are out there, if you're listening, it may be the thing that you need. And all the stuff that we talked about, it's great. I mean, journaling is good, exercising, music, art, and so forth, getting with family, helping somebody else. All that stuff is great to help you deal. But you may also need some professional help. And if you do, don't shy away from that because you think there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then one last one that's not there, and it has to do both with community and faith. So don't discount the value of your faith. Don't discount the value of your church. Don't discount the value of those people that are out there that you can get to pray with you, that you can get to hang out with you in the faith community. Okay. And that is not to say, right? So this is not to say, hey, I'm going to go to church and I'm going to pray, but I'm not going to go to the therapist. Okay. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about go to the therapist and, right, decide that you are going to lean into your faith community, lean into your faith and your spirituality, right? So make sure you are connecting. If you believe in a higher power, make sure you're connecting with God through prayer. And we believe in the high power. We call him God. And that is an amazing thing. And often people will say to me, well, I'm praying about it. Well, the Bible says to pray about it. Well, no, the Bible doesn't say pray about it. What the Bible says is watch and pray.
Okay.
The praying part is the spiritual part, and the watching part is the practical, right? So what he's saying, what the Bible is saying is, if you're dealing with an enemy while you got one eye closed praying, make sure he's not trying to knock you over the head, right? So don't just close both eyes, right? You got to watch and pray. So let's put that in context. So awesome. Why are you laughing?
Because you're silly.
That's true, right? Because we're like, and somebody's coming to beat us over the head. God's not going to stop him from hitting you over the head just because you got your eyes closed. He's like, no, it's like, yeah, you get a bat and you hit him first, and then you can come back and pray, right? So sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Sorry. Yeah, this is called practical religion.
Yeah.
So, all right. So emotions can be it could seem like it's a storm. Like you're at sea and you're being buffeted and beaten and moved all around the place when we think about emotions. But there are ways of dealing with emotions. There are ways of getting through the emotion, and there are ways of harnessing the emotion so that we can come out of the woods.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Denita, any last words that you want to say to our folks?
No.
All right.
Deal with your emotions, right? Dance.
Yeah, so let's run through those again. So remember that it is okay to feel the emotions, right? It's not wrong to feel emotions. Don't bottle the emotions up. And then you can do things to help you manage and get through the emotions, like journaling, as we mentioned, using music, art, writing, dancing, right? Getting moving, so exercising. Spend time with family and friends who make you feel good. Help somebody else. So a way to divert from your circumstances and kind of relax and breathe, right? Because when we're always in our own heads, it can be a very lonely and an amplifying place, as we mentioned before. And then seek professional help if you need it, right? So don't discount that. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here, and we are so glad, Cap Law. Thank you for coming through and hanging out with us. If you're out there, go ahead and give us a thumbs up for this video. Share it with somebody in your circle. Right, that's my ask for this episode. Share it with someone in your circle, because there are so many people right now that are hurting, and they just don't know what to do. Let them know that we are here, Into the Woods. If you've not subscribed, go ahead and do so. Like, subscribe, and share this on your social media platforms, and hit the notification bell so that you'll be alerted when new episodes come out. If you don't have an account, create a free account on YouTube and then go through that process by hitting subscribe and then hitting the notification bell. We thank you for coming and hanging out with us tonight. This is DWAIN.
This is Denita. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you at the next episode. Bye-bye.